What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Shamshir Sound. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use the randomize feature in Massive and how it can spice up existing sounds you have, or if you're going through a patch bank, whatever the case may be. So firstly, you're going to want to go to the global section in Massive. And what this is going to be able to do is, if you have an old synth that you're thinking, hey, I want to change it up, I don't want it to be too similar to, too recognizable of a sound. Maybe you want to try something new. Maybe you just want to randomize and just explore new territory with a sound. A lot of times just we encounter cool sounds, or I personally encounter really cool sounds just by experimenting, testing new things. So I didn't realize this feature, how powerful it was. And when you go to the global section, you'll see there's an oscillator section, filter, insert effects, or master effects. And you can randomize different sections here. So the intent here with it is you can either randomize specific stuff. So you can randomize multiple things and what these state here. So parameter, mod depth, connections. So you can randomize the routing. You can randomize the type of oscillator it is. So if we hit this, for instance, type selection, here we have this virtual analog PWM, we have this Skelchy, we have this Polysaw. So for instance, I want to randomize these. I want these to be a different type of wavetable. This is going to be the amount of randomization. So we have 0%. If you hit this, nothing is going to happen, and you can see no effect is happening. One thing I would do too, unless you have the patch saved, just go ahead and copy, because then you can always go back. You can just undo your work. You can paste your oscillators back. But let's go ahead and put the value that they have by default, 30%. In all honesty, it really doesn't matter if you put 50, 30, just substantial enough so that it does randomize. So let's go ahead, press the button. So we can see here, G-pulse is changing. Let me play back this pattern for you guys. It's very basic. It's just a kick from the free revealed pack. With a bass patch I made a long time ago. Nothing fancy, and forgive me for the terrible mixdown. This is just something really rough. We can let this patch play, and we'll just keep randomizing the type, and we'll show you the effect. So you can see sometimes you're going to get really trashy results, especially if the pitch ends up being too low. You're going to have to go in there and bring the pitch up. And also, it can really mess with stuff if you're using Spectrum or a different type of wavetable. I usually use a lot of Spectrum, sometimes the bend, but formant can sometimes sound weird. But again, it's all about experimenting. So we'll just keep seeing what we get out of it. We're going to go ahead and bring this up to -12. Okay, that's kind of cool. I like that. It has like a kind of lead sound. It sounds kind of like a trashy lead. And you can see it did randomize not only these wavetables, but the section here, which controls basically the type of sound. It does change the characteristics of the sound. Spectrum is more of a kind of a broad sound, more harmonics into it. Bend is going to totally change it, and formant is also going to completely manipulate it as well. It kind of gives you these like squelchy, higher pitched sounds. You can see here in the noise also it changed. It went from my white noise to power, so that can also change. And one thing you want to keep in mind too, you're not limited, so you can also randomize the filter type. I'm going to go ahead and hit copy all so I can go back to this cool lead that I have. But when you hit filter type, you're going to switch here. I went from daft, and you can see it keeps changing that up. It's also randomizing the FM filter down here in case you have that. And of course, if you're using feedback, that's going to affect it as well. So honestly, this is kind of like a realm where you just experiment, test things out, and see what happens. We can see here our insert effects. We can randomize those as well. Our master effects, So previously I had dimension expander. Let's go ahead and bring those settings back. So we're back to our original settings. Some other things I want to make a side note here. So let's go ahead and see what happens there. So you can see you can do randomize all. But you can see there, now it's doing nothing. So that's really nice. You can do individual. You can do the type. So if you do type and you hit filter, it's going to change the filter type. It's going to change the oscillator type. It seems a bit intimidating, but you guys want to give it a try. And really, at the end of the day, it's just about experimenting. And a lot of times I come across random sounds that are great, and you can sample it, keep it in your synth sound, whatever you want to do with it. So let's go ahead and see, like, what's the worst that can happen with this, right? Let's just randomize everything, because at this point we're changing everything. All the parameters, you can see all the knobs are being affected. Macros are being affected. New macros are being added. And the pitch is being completely manipulated. So, let's see. Hopefully it's not horrendous. Okay, we have some washing machine. Really cool though. If you guys are lacking inspiration, definitely check this out. Really cool feature I like in Massive, the randomize feature. For me personally, I'm a bit more conservative with it rather than using all, let's bring those settings back. Rather than using all, I like using like a type, and then I go by parameter. So this is like a subcategory. That way you're changing the type of oscillator or the type of filter. So you can see here, if we go parameter, let's see what happens. There we go. So you can see there is just changing the values. And so you can get very creative. You can get very down to the details, the micro details, to get the specific type of randomization that you want. So guys, I hope you like this video. Definitely is a useful trick to use in Native Instruments Massive, especially if you're using an old patch bank that maybe you want to spice up, or if you have existing sounds that you maybe just want to change up and see what experiments that you come up with. Because at the end of the day, it's all about testing stuff, seeing what works, seeing what sticks, and that's the beauty of art. So I will see you guys in the next video of Shamshir Sound. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Leave a comment. Let me know what requests, what you guys want to see. And I can't wait to be sharing sample packs, synth sounds, and all that good stuff in the future as well. So remember to smash the like button, drop a comment, and I'll see you guys very soon. Take care.